Cry About It, the podcast about all of those sad songs that make us oh so happy. I'm your host, Cavi, and this podcast is brought to you by Screaming Infidelity's Emo Night. What's going on, emo kids? Welcome to what is technically episode 0 of the Cried Out podcast. In this new podcast, we're going to talk to very interesting people about mental health, community, togetherness, and most importantly, that sad music that makes us all so happy.
Emo.
Side note, we'll also probably touch on pop punk, metalcore, screamo, and all of that music that we play at Emo Night. If that's something that interests you, what I would like to just beg of you is that you go down and subscribe right now to this YouTube channel. But if you prefer to listen to just audio versions, we are on iTunes, Spotify, and every single major podcast provider that is out there. I'm your host, Joe Cavston, or Cavi for short, and I'm one half of Screaming Infidelities, an emo night based out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. And the actual talented guy, DJ Hirsch, is going to be joining me on the first episode. For the past 5 years, we've been throwing these wild parties known as emo nights. Now, if you don't know what that is, it really doesn't matter. It's going to have very little bearing on the actual context of these podcasts. But to sum it up very easily, it's a big party that we throw, and everybody gets together, and we scream our lungs out to all our favorite emo songs. Our shows are super interactive. We bring everybody up on stage. You can sing into the microphone. We have confetti cannons and fog cannons, and it's just a big mess and a big fun, and it's an experience that everybody should take part in. We started throwing these parties at a little bar in Scranton, and then we moved up, started selling out the big rooms, and we moved out to different cities all throughout Pennsylvania. We've done emo nights with people from Kyotos and Yellowcard and Attila. Throughout the couple years, it's grown into like 500, 800 people a night, and then COVID hit, and we had to cancel a lot of shows. We had a big run lined up with Craig Owens from Kyotos. Because our shows are so interactive and based on people interacting with each other, there's really no way to social distance. So it's been a year and we're kind of realizing that we're going to be one of the last events that's safe to bring back. Our emo nights kind of started as a joke, and then they turned into a way to give back to like local musicians to give them a night out. But over the last couple years, it's really become a strong family unit that's more of a community. And ever since COVID hit, we've been getting a ton of messages from our emo family out there, letting us know just, how much they miss it. And we've seen them constantly sharing memories all over social media. And many of these messages centered around the fact that the parties were really just a big release for people where they could let loose and be themselves around a bunch of like-minded people. And a lot of them talked about that bond of togetherness that they didn't get to experience a lot of other places and how it really contributed to their mental health in a positive way. So I guess it's fair to say that I never really dove into the mental health part of what these emo nights could be providing. But it's 100% fair to say that it was good for my mental health. I mean, the anticipation of planning these crazy events was really good for me. I mean, I was excited. I was working out. It was getting me pumped up to give the best show I possibly could. And then I would ride that euphoria of being on stage in front of hundreds of people, giving them an awesome experience for days, if not weeks. I miss our screaming emo family. I miss those amazing people that we genuinely got to know and got to care about.
I miss you guys like a Blink-182 song.
So what can we do to stay together and keep in touch with each other? Well, we thought about a virtual emo night. We can't do that. We would get shut down so fast. The copyright claims would come in. We've tested it. We tried it. It just would never work. They'd shut us right down. So then an idea about this podcast started getting kicked around, and I fell in love with it. Because you see, amazing parties is only one aspect of what we've created over the last 5 years. The people who attend those parties are way more interesting to me than the actual parties themselves, and that's what makes it all so special. All the confetti in the world couldn't make me as happy as seeing how excited you sad little fucks get when your favorite song drops. So I present to you the Cry About It podcast. Every episode, we're going to talk to very interesting people about who they are, what they love, and how emo culture has shaped their life. Our guests are going to be the amazing set of characters that you see at every emo night, and the people who help us make emo night happen. And we're even going to sprinkle in a couple like people from big emo bands that you love. So I hope that you guys all choose to walk along this boulevard of broken dreams with us. The first official episode is going to feature a conversation with my homie DJ Hirsch. We're going to talk about how we met, how we started working together, how this whole thing got started, what he really thinks of emo music, and what you can expect in the future from Screaming Infidelity's Emo Night. Don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. Make sure you subscribe no matter what platform you're watching on. Don't worry, cheer up, emo kid. We'll be back again next week.